The UN's relief agency in Gaza is warning that it will be forced to halt all operations if Israel doesn't allow resumption of fuel supplies to the besieged Strip. The organization says that it could happen by Wednesday night, when it is expected to run out of fuel. Doctors in Gaza say that the health sector in Gaza is already at the point of collapse. Juliette Touma is Director of Communications for UNRWA. That's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East. You're joining us from occupied East Jerusalem. Juliette, thank you for being with us. Update us on how much longer UNRWA can keep going.
Yeah, thanks. The coming few hours are really critical as we continue to push to get an urgent shipment of fuel supplies into the Gaza Strip. If we do not get this shipment tonight, tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, we are going to be forced to take very tough decisions, depriving people, depriving the communities that we serve from humanitarian assistance in the Gaza Strip.
Very tough decisions. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, if we do not get fuel, we are not able to drive our cars and deliver assistance. We are not able to drive our trucks, meaning the United Nations trucks, and go to the border and pick up the very little supply that is coming through the borders. We will not be able to send wheat flour to the bakeries, so people will not have bread. This is, for many families, the only thing they're eating right now. Medical facilities will not be able to operate. Water pumping station will not be able to go on. It's a chain. Fuel for Gaza is life, and that chain is going to be interrupted if fuel doesn't come in. And with that, life for so many people will be interrupted as well, will be cut short.
So you say this is what happens if you don't get fuel in the next few hours. You know, as I do, that Israel has said there is no fuel going into the Gaza Strip. They have not wavered on that. They have not changed their minds since they posed a total blockade on Gaza. Do you have any hope of seeing fuel, as you say, in the next few hours?
There is always hope, and equally there is need.
Well, do you have any information that there might be fuel coming in?
I don't.
So
we just keep calling because the coming few hours are very critical.
Remind us how many people are living in UNRWA schools and facilities.
600,000 people, and the number continues to increase. They have sought refuge because they were forced to flee their homes. In around 150 UNRWA facilities, including many of our schools that we run in the Gaza Strip, we turned those into shelters. But we were forced to open other facilities that were not meant to shelter human beings. Like we have around 8,000 people living in a warehouse where we normally store our supplies. I mean, in that warehouse, the conditions are absolutely appalling. We have reports that 400 people, for example, share one toilet. We are very worried about the spread of diseases among people who are sheltering in our facilities because they're overcrowded. Because when we planned for the worst at UNRWA, we planned for 4 times less the number that we have right now in our shelters.
Yeah, we reported earlier what UNRWA has been saying, that currently you're at 4 times the capacity that UNRWA is built for. Because of a sound issue, I actually missed that critical number. Just the number, if you could repeat it, the number of people who are in UNRWA, various UNRWA facilities at the moment.
600,000 people.
Okay. Specific question for you about the fuel. The Israeli military spokesman Daniel Hagari, and you will be well aware of this, has accused Hamas of stealing petrol from UNRWA. He said, quote, "Petrol will not enter Gaza. Hamas takes the petrol for its military infrastructure." Can you speak to that? Is Hamas stealing, or has Hamas stolen petrol and fuel that was earmarked for the United Nations agencies?
I can confirm that there was no looting or stealing of any of our supplies, including fuel, from UNRWA.
Do you have any idea on where that might be coming from? I mean, I don't want to get you to speculate, but we do need to address this.
Cannot comment on that. I'm not in a position to comment on a statement or a tweet. I cannot.
Okay, I completely understand it, but equally, I think you'll understand that I have to ask you the question. So again, it bears repeating. You're telling us none of the aid that goes into Gaza and that is destined for the United Nations goes into anyone else's hands. Am I correct about that?
Yes, because we are a neutral humanitarian organization. We are what we call direct implementers. We have 13,000 staff members on the ground. They take those supplies and they distribute them or use them for the benefit of the communities that we serve. We have a very, very tight scrutiny system that looks into how is humanitarian assistance used for the benefit of the people that we were mandated by the General Assembly of the United Nations to serve.
And can you guarantee that, since you're in a territory where, that is at war? Can you guarantee that none of the aid for the UN goes anywhere else?
We have been on the ground in Gaza for more than 7 decades. We have staff members who have been screened themselves. We have systems in place for monitoring and evaluation and for investigation. We have reports that go to our donors on how the money is used and how the assistance is used. We have been working in the Gaza Strip for more than 70 years now, and this is how we've done it. And we are direct implementers. It means that the assistance that is given to people is given by United Nations workers who have themselves gone through a screening.
Juliette Touma, Director of Communications for UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian refugees in the Near East. You told us 600,000 people are currently sheltering in your facilities, and you're going to have a major breakdown in what you can do, if not a total stop on what you can do, if fuel doesn't come into the Gaza Strip in the coming hours. We thank you for your time today.